It's preparing to live stream
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
on YouTube.
2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
There-
All right. Testing, 1, 2.
We're live.
Send me the stream though. Turn your light on.
When there are, when the rapid drills.
There was no money involved here.
They have to register to get a permit.
Okay, right.
And at that time, I mean, if you have signed the paper, that means it's given your address. Is go to that.
And who's the money given? So when you get a permit, it's going to go to our residential, right?
Right.
Didn't it say? Goes to the-
There.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. It says we're-
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how not to.
Just thanks for stopping. Or we'll have to stop. Unless it's coming from you, isn't it?
One sentence history. All the.
I don't know how to make it go to.
Hello, Jim.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear? Can you hear us now?
And can you hear it?
Here we go. Could you identify yourself, please? Could you identify yourself?
Hey, Jim, there's feedback coming through.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clear now, Jim, fine.
So this one's working.
Go ahead and try.
You can hear me okay, Joanne?
I can hear you. But it says it's coming across network broadband low for under John Mara. And I don't know if that's because I'm on a public Wi-Fi or not.
Maybe it's on your end because
That's what I'm saying. So if you lose me tonight, you'll know why. I'm on a public Wi-Fi. Not a
Okay.
secure one.
Hello.
hello. There you go.
So I muted my speaker as well as my
Okay,
microphone, so
got it.
I'll only be able to be heard through those.
Updated the website. They can get on through YouTube or by Zoom. If you win by Zoom, you have to let them in.
Extra copies? That's okay.
I was going to make them here. Let me-
No problem. I have it online.
are you, Doctor? Good, thank you. Mhm. How are you? Hang in there. Always say a prayer first. Okay? And the grace to handle his will.
Hi, Shannon. Oh,
Are you an aunt yet? Are you an aunt yet?
Not yet.
When's the day?
One more month.
Oh, a month? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mid-July.
Okay.
Mitch is on there.
please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the prayer. Grant us, O Lord, light in our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and we may use it in our directives for the common good. For thy honor and glory, amen. Thank you. Call to order, roll call, please. Please turn your mics on when you respond. Roll call, Joanne.
Oh, okay. Cynthia Hardwick,
Cindy,
Krista Canuck,
she's absent.
Nancy Mara,
Here.
Stanley Redica Jr. Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Present.
and Shannon Sharma.
Okay, you hear us all? Maybe you could speak more into the mic.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first
Mayor?
I'd like to, yes,
Mayor, before you get started, in case you lose me, I'm on an open, unsecure website.
okay, we will keep
Okay.
that in consideration. Thank you. Okay, first I'd like to welcome Cindy Hardwick, our new council member. So welcome, Cindy. And she joins two other new members, Krista Canuck, who's not with us today. She had Cub Scout duty or Boy Scout duties, and also Stan Rodiger. He's also with us, so we welcome them also. And just to mention though, in November though, we're going to be having 4 seats open. So if anyone's interested in these positions, please, I guess by August 4th, I believe is the deadline. Just verify that with the Board of Elections website. And like I said, if you're interested in joining or interested in one of those 4 positions, we'd appreciate it. So we can use anyone's time, talent, and treasure. So these fine gentlemen and ladies stepped up here. Stan's offering his treasures also, and Cindy now offering her treasures, and Krista. So we welcome. And then also, you know, we've got Shannon and Dr. Sharma, who basically have been here for, I believe, 10 years, so doing their service. So again, hopefully they'll rerun again. We don't know, but anyway, we welcome them. And then, so anyway, and then Nancy, of course, she's new, so we're stuck with her for another 2.5 years, like you're stuck with me. So, okay. All right, let's get on with reading and disposition of the minutes. Well, first we want to get into public comment. We have any public comments or questions at this time?
If you do have, please let us know what your name is, your address before you.
Is your mic on?
Is your mic, you have to turn your
If you're
mic
going
on.
to give instructions, make sure your mic's on.
Well,
Jane, would you like to come up?
I just have a question for Jane Shabako, 14 East Shore.
can you stand up and pull that mic, turn that mic on?
Who sponsored the health seminar last night?
3 residences of the village, private residences.
Because I wondered how that was permitted, because once before, another resident had used it and they were shut down for the Italian American Club because it was out on Facebook and social media. So I just wanted to know.
I'll address it tonight then, after. That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Any more public comments or questions? Okay, moving on. Reading and disposition of the minutes, regular council meeting of April 20th, 21. Do I have a motion to approve? Stanley Rodiger makes a motion.
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Okay. Cindy Hardwick. Nancy Mara.
She froze.
I didn't hear Nancy.
Aye.
Okay. Stanley Rediker Jr. Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
and Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next, special council meeting, April 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Stanley Roediger seconds. Roll call, please.
Sure. Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
and Cindy Hardwick.
Okay, thank you. Next is regular council meeting of May 24th, 2021. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Dr. Ritu makes a motion. Nancy Mara seconds. Roll call, please.
Stanley Roediger Jr., Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye, Ms. Clapp.
Shannon Sharma, Cindy Hardwick, Nancy Mara.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is the Finance Committee meeting of June 1st of 2021. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Motion to approve?
Nancy Mara makes a motion. Do I have a second? Stanley Roediger seconds. Roll call, please.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Ms. Clapp.
Shannon Sharma, Cynthia Hardwick, Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to legislation. First, we have ordinance number 2021-02, third reading. It was tabled on 5/24/21. It was an ordinance amending section 1062.02 residency required guests of the codified ordinances of Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. Any discussion on this, or do I have a motion to untable? Yes, turn your mics on, please. You can leave them on, probably.
Are they echoing?
They should be okay if we leave them on.
Moved on table.
I second.
Okay. So do I roll call, please?
Shannon Sharma, Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, do I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2021-02?
Can we go over it?
Yeah, after we have a motion and, or. after a
Discussion
second.
happens
Discussion
afterwards.
after a second.
Been approved?
No,
No.
a motion and a second in order to get it before council, then there's discussion.
Okay, so do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Stanley Roediger makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion, please. We'll open up the discussion. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, can we go over it?
Sure.
Did you print it out?
I did not know.
Okay.
I don't have it here either.
Did you want to see it?
Yeah,
Oh, there,
Or-
Mr. O'Leary
right
gave
there.
her one.
thank you. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it. Okay, thank you.
Were there any questions on it or?
No.
Discussion? Okay, anyone else have any questions or comments about this ordinance? Okay, roll call, please.
Is Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Whitaker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
and Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have ordinance 2021-04. Third reading, it was tabled on 5/24/21. This was an ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 820 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency.
This is for canvassing.
So, discussion on this?
Okay.
We got to untable it, right?
If we want to move on, or we can just leave it tabled, if there's any.
You can't consider it unless you untable it.
Moved untable.
I second.
Okay, Stan Roediger moves on table. Nancy Mara seconds. Roll call, please.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Whitaker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
and Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick.
Aye.
Okay. Do I have a motion now to approve ordinance replacing Chapter 820 of the codified ordinances?
So moved.
Now, this is, what is this exactly?
The peddler, the
This is
peddler.
the-
This is the
Peddler.
peddlers solicitation canvassers.
Okay. So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I
please?
second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please, or discussion, excuse me. Is there any questions or
How
comments?
big of a problem has this been in the past, and what is the difference between this, the existing and this? Does anybody know?
I believe the only thing is that ours is outdated. This was just to update it to cover more, I guess, businesses, that type of business that might come in and more in line with the, I guess, the revised code.
Okay,
My understanding, even though I wasn't involved in the redrafting, that prior council was attempting to go through all of the sections of the code to update it, to make it more applicable to what they are experiencing today in different communities. And so the additions to, or the revisions to this section address that issue.
So this person had, excuse me, sorry. So what they're trying to do is keep peddlers out of the village without being, they want them to register.
The idea is that we want to have anybody that's going to our residences' houses to solicit in any way, shape, or form to come to us first, because we're going to, as part of the legislation, there's a do not knock registry that the residents can sign up for. And there's an application that the solicitor. So if there's the idea is that if there's a problem in the community and they filled out a application, we should have enough information to follow up with them to see what happened. And if there's a problem, you know, the police chief has something to work from. Without that, then you could have people in the community that you don't necessarily want soliciting and not be able to control it.
But they have to register with the police
That's correct.
for a fee.
That's what the legislation says.
I think it was $150.
I don't have the legislation any longer.
Yeah,
I'll
I
have to
do.
trust you on that.
I do. Wasn't it, Stan? I know, that's why we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with that. This is if somebody wants to sell Reader's Digests and they want to go door to door, or in the old days, encyclopedias. Okay, I'll tell you how old I am,
That's why we're
right?
talking about it.
Fuller Brush. No, I wasn't going to go that far back, but nonetheless. So it's that idea that if you have somebody going through your community, thanks, Dad. If we have somebody going through the community, we want to make sure that they are registered so that we know who's here. And if there's a call for a complaint that comes through and they're not following the ordinance, then we can ask them to leave the community.
How can a resident pick up this do not knock registry? Do we have copies here in the village hall, the police department, or where would they get them?
Once it's approved, I'm assuming they'll be available here at Village Hall. Right?
Yes, they will be, and they'll be available online.
Okay.
Well, we'll put the forms online this way. People will access it online. I'll make sure it's very visible on the front page.
And maybe a couple here for people who weren't computer
Sure,
savvy.
absolutely. Both places, yeah.
Yeah.
All the above.
So 150 is the fee I see in here. So the police will be responsible for taking the money?
Well, that becomes a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it pays
Exactly what I'm
to-
going to it.
Paying the license fee should be to the village of
Village of
Timberlake.
Timberlake. Doesn't it say that on the application form?
I have it.
You should have an application form as a exhibit to it, along with the do not knock registry form. Can
Yes,
you look at the form there and see if
Yeah.
it has,
yes.
does it say who to make the check out to? On the application, that's a different document.
I don't have the application. I have to do that.
The only problem I have with it is that the police, it's going through the police, and no offense, chief, but we've had problems with chiefs before,
Well,
with
who else-
money and
else is
officers
here?
before, sorry. Oh, here it is, right here. I have it. I know I had it.
That's the do not knock.
Yeah.
It's before that. It's the actual application should be, oh, you don't have the application.
Yeah, but it still doesn't have a.
Hold it up.
It doesn't say.
It was payable to the village. Checks on the. No, not to the police.
That's the only thing I have problem with.
So if a check is written to the village of Timberlake, it's okay.
It's what?
Check to the village of Timberlake, then the police would accept it.
Whoever is going to be accepting these applications will also have to accept the money.
Accept the check.
I just read histories, that's all.
Then the problem becomes who is it that's going to oversee this? Because there isn't someone else here full-time. If somebody comes in to. No,
Well, she's not here all the time.
She's here like 2 hours a week. Well, you could leave the check for her, but somebody has to accept the check. It's not like we're asking the police department to deposit it. We're just asking them to put it in a box that will go to the fiscal officer or to the head of the finance.
Why don't we
committee.
amend this to say that our Gary Gray, our zoning inspector, will receive that application?
Does he have listed hours?
You have listed hours?
Yeah, but it,
I write all the other permits.
We'd have to,
all the other checks.
we'd have to amend this.
all right. So, okay, when we go to approve this, we'll have to amend it then to have it go through the zoning inspector. And do you have listed hours? I know you're in the village all the time, but do you have listed office hours? Is your number listed on the building so that if somebody walked up to the building, they'd know how to get a hold of you? Okay. Because what I'm thinking of is the person that's coming here and want to lawfully canvass the area. And from a practical perspective, how are they going to do that? If they come to the building and it's locked and there's nothing that says, if you're here to canvass, solicit, peddle, whatever, you can, but I mean, but there still should be something listed that says who's the person to call, et cetera. So if in fact the zoning inspector is willing to take on that responsibility, we can list that on the door. So if that's what council wants to do, this is council's decision.
And the form is online as well.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be once approved.
Oh, yes.
Right now, currently, though, I believe that they applied for a solicitor permit through the mayor. Currently.
We don't want the mayor doing that.
No.
So. Okay,
So where do we go from here?
Is there any further discussion other than who's going to accept the money?
Any other questions or concerns about it? Or corrections? Changes? So
Who
we'll
made
just-
the motion?
I did, Stan did.
Do you want to amend your
Yes.
motion to approve it based upon the change of having the
Zoning.
zoning inspector?
Receive the
accept
funds for the village of
application and the-
Timberlake. Right.
Okay. Go ahead and make that amendment, and then we'll have it reseconded.
I want to amend my motion to the ordinance 2021-04 on section 820-03, paragraph A, subparagraph 3, paying the license fee required for the licensee payable to the Village of Timberlake, application and from the zoning inspector, and his name and phone number will be posted on the outside of the building, probably on our community board, would be a place to put it,
Yes. Good place.
and the application will be online.
We have an amended motion.
Okay, Stan makes an amended motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Cindy Hardwick seconds.
Are you doing songs?
Any more discussion on it? Roll call, please.
Stanley Whitaker Jr.,
Yeah.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Morrow.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is ordinance 2021-05, third reading. It was tabled on May 24th, 2021. This is an ordinance repealing and replacing various sections of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. This is the ones that we can't find.
Wasn't, I
tabled it.
I think that was before we had three exits of three council people very fast.
Okay.
Joanne, wasn't that the permit fees that we were going over at one time?
I don't know what this one was for.
Right, because the three people that had left, left kind of.
I think,
abruptly.
no, this was actually, I think this might be the original one that we started when we were reviewing the codified code book. Because that's what it says, repealing and replacing various sections of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake. And then I think they decided to break it out in more detail.
But we are doing it in more detail now, right? I mean, we're taking it one by one.
So if it's not necessary, you could vote to remove it from the agenda, not only today, but for the future.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to stay here as table until you address it.
Okay.
Do we have to untable it to do that?
Yes.
Okay,
Can't discuss it until you do.
all right. So first of all, do I have a motion to untable ordinance 2021-05?
I make a motion to untable that.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion. Do I have
I'll
a second?
second.
Shannon Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Morrow,
Aye.
Stanley Whitaker Jr.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Now, do I have a motion to approve? Do you want a motion to approve? Do you want to do
Well, it's up to what.
I think we
council-
want a motion to remove,
To remove
Yeah.
not to see it again.
Yes.
Okay,
So
so
moved,
do I have a motion to remove ordinance 2021-05, please?
yes.
Stanley Roediger makes a motion. Do I have
I'll
a second?
second.
Shannon Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Morrow,
Aye.
Stanley Whitaker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-17, third reading. An ordinance repealing and replacing chapter 1466, flood damage reduction of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declare an emergency.
This is it.
Okay,
Do I have a motion to approve,
I
please?
expect you to read it in the next 3 minutes.
all right, I'm on it.
I make a motion.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Stanley Roediger seconds. Roll call, please.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Or first, excuse me, discussion. Any questions, comments?
Is this just the third, we already passed this, right? This is just the third reading? I thought we already passed
Right.
this.
No, we didn't pass it because it's third reading.
Okay, I thought we already did. Okay.
Okay, so roll call, please.
wait, were you having discussion anymore?
No, that was
Okay.
it.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redeker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-18, third reading, an ordinance amending section 470.06, prohibition against parking on streets, highways of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion. Do
I
have a
second.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion?
Is that the
You
resolution
should
or the
table it. Sorry, until everybody on council
This
is
is a
here.
different one.
This is,
Yeah, thank you.
that's the one.
Thank you.
Do we need everybody on council
Hold
to
on a
make that?
second.
That's the one.
I gave them resolution 18 and not.
Okay, I apologize.
Okay. So do we have any questions on this one?
Well, where'd this come from? Out of the air, or
This came
is there
from,
complaints or something? And has the police been talked to about this? And
this was just a confusion, I believe, between, we had two ordinances that discuss about parking on the streets. And this just clarifies and combines the two into one, so that there's no question about where people have to park. And it was also supposed to clarify that people were supposed, for the events for the Village Hall, they were supposed to park from the bend over here on East Shore all the way to Lake Shore, and then also use that triangle portion at Lake Shore and East Shore for the surplus.
That's 19.
Can you turn your mic on, please?
Thank you.
Is this,
Yes.
it's against parking on any street in the village, so if anybody has company, they can't park out in front of their house? Is that what this is?
Well, that's the way the ordinance always read. The ordinance always read that you cannot park on the front setback of the house unless it's on a paved area.
So in the past, they would call the police.
That's my point.
Yes, yeah,
But
they
if
would call
yes,
and
they
let
can
you.
call and ask for approval, yes. And if in that case, then they have to have two wheels on, two wheels off.
Okay,
Just like when they call you for parties, to let you know they're gonna have a party.
right. I'm just saying at the, say the other end of town where people have company. As long as they call and they have two wheels on the grass and two wheels on the pavement.
That's always been in the past, correct, Dr. Richu?
No, actually, people have parked even on the grass, as tacky it looks, but they would call the police department. They would let you know in advance
Right.
that today we have company, there'll be 5 cars.
Okay,
That has happened in the past.
okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
So any other discussion on it? Okay. Roll call, please.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redeker Jr.,
aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-19, third reading, an ordinance amending sections 1062.01, park and recreations lands defined, and 1062.02, residency required, guests of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency.
I make a motion.
So do I have a motion? Dr. Sharma makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Aye. Excuse me. I second the motion.
Nancy Mara seconds. Discussion?
there's some crossover, as our solicitor stated, on legislation A, which we looked at and approved, and this.
The crossover.
Revises the same ordinances 2021-02, need to decide what language is desired. It's
Redundant.
redundant. Is that what you're saying, Jim?
Well, I didn't know if this dealt with a different section within 1062. I think I gave it to, you have it there? Now, this is 02, but I'm talking about the one that we're under consideration now. 19, is that 19? We got it.
Does he need it here?
It's a different section.
Does he need this?
These are two different sections within the same ordinance. And I think they were meant to be just differentiated because of that.
So it's okay to still be differentiated? Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Is Stanley Redeker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-20, third reading, an ordinance repealing and replacing chapter 1486 swimming pools of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. I have a motion to approve, please.
I make a motion to approve
Dr.
this.
Sharma makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Stanley Roediger seconds. Discussion? Discussion, roll call, please.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redeker Jr.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-21, third reading, an ordinance repealing chapter 244, records clerk of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. I have a motion to approve, please.
I make a motion.
I second it.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion. Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion?
If you repeal this, will we ever, we have to reinstate something if we ever want a
A clerk.
separate records clerk?
You would have to enact legislation in order to recreate that position.
Is it better to have the position on the books and vacant or to repeal it?
Well, what you do is you identify that either the mayor or another village official becomes the official records clerk in the absence of the actual position. Someone has to be designated in case there's records that need to be requested for litigation, what have you. So
You don't have one.
you know,
No.
I don't know.
Joanne?
We have Joanne as our fiscal officer.
Do you do that now?
This is the police department one.
No. This is repealing the requirement for a records clerk. Do you
That's
do
pol-
that?
This is police.
When we talked about this before, I requested to keep the one for the police department. I was told this is totally separate.
This
Are
is
we
the one. the police
identifying
department
each
got.
It doesn't say police anywhere.
No, it's separate.
Yeah, it just says records clerk, Joanne.
I don't know. I don't remember when we were discussing these all back in March at the work session.
Right. When they were cleaning up their ordinance books, this is something that we never even had. We didn't even have this
But the
position.
police department does have a clerk position.
A records clerk?
No, it doesn't say,
Right,
it says
right,
clerk.
right,
And I didn't want to give up that position. This is something totally separate.
right. When I look in the old ordinances, we don't have one. We don't have one acting as this presently. Correct, Dr. Ritu?
Right.
Correct, Shannon?
Wait, but wasn't I thought, Mayor, you were doing the records for a while.
No, that's public records request. This is records clerk, separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I guess until we figure out what the difference is
Oh,
between the two, we should table it again.
wait a second, I'm going on the codified code book.
I was trying to do that, but my computer's a little tied up with a couple of other things here.
It is, what number was it? 244. $244. This was passed in 2008. It is just says records clerk established. The position of record clerk is hereby established. The duties are responsible for the position of the records clerk shall be established by the mayor and approved by council. That's all that says.
Right.
So it would be like an admin to the mayor?
It doesn't say much. I have it right in front of me.
That doesn't say much of anything.
It is found and determined that all action of the council concerning relating to adoption of the ordinance was so adopted to mean, doesn't say anything.
If it was established in 2008, that would have been separate and apart from the police department,
Did anybody else want to see this?
I believe. So I think you're fine to go ahead and
Remove it.
To nullify it.
to take these two sentences out of the code. That's
Yeah.
really all it is.
That's all it is. Okay. Any other discussion on it? Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, please.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redick Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-22, an ordinance repealing section 240-19 cellular phone policy for the police department of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion to approve it.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Stanley Rodiger seconds. Discussion? No questions? Okay. Roll call, please.
Is Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redick Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance repealing section, ordinance 2021-22. I'm sorry. Did that one. Ordinance 2021-23, third reading, an ordinance repealing section 260.14, sexual harassment policy of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake, adopting a new sexual harassment policy and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion. Shannon Sharman seconds. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redick Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, ordinance 2021-24, third reading. An ordinance repealing section 1442.18, septic tank permit required of the codified ordinances of the Village of Timberlake and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Stanley Roediger makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please. Discussion. Okay, roll call, please.
Is Stanley Redeker Jr.?
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma?
Aye.
Shannon Sharma?
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick?
Aye.
Nancy Mara?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next, resolution number 2021-14, third reading. A resolution establishing the fee for a Timberlake Beach access key and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Can we table this or no?
On the third reading, can
We
we?
have to. Do we have a motion in a second?
We have just a motion.
No, you have a motion, you have a second on it.
Dan Roediger seconds. Okay, discussion. Talk about it.
Yeah, we still decided on the $100.
It's in the, yes, it is in the, do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, well, that's 18, not
Yeah,
14.
it said 18.
No, I have the 14 as well. And that still says 10 and 100?
Yes, for a lost key.
$100 for the lost key, I think.
Again, that's going to be a deposit. If they return that key or find that key, they get their $100 back. Or
You never know when you might find it again.
that's only if they lose their key, though.
I
obviously.
understand.
Yeah.
I still think we should table it until all council are here, maybe. Or, I don't know, I think $100 is too much.
Just so you know, this is one of the items that the auditors have been requesting for in their audit, the backup documentation for how you established your key fee for the beach.
We can always amend it, change it later, if need be, so, but
Why don't we just table it?
Is we want
because the
the audit
auditors are
completed.
requesting, we need the audit
Oh, the
completed.
auditors are
They need it, and
requesting
They
the
can't wait 2 more
details.
months, so.
Did we second it?
I second it.
Okay.
Second, just discussion, and then we'll just ask for a vote and then see where it goes. So, any other discussion on it?
Mayor, I agree. It's too much, I think. And I understand it's a deposit, but the ones who lose it, they lose it forever.
The re-
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying. The reason why it was set high, you don't understand, because people kept on saying, well, I'll duplicate it for $50.
It doesn't, but I understand what you're saying. Like, I agree with that, again, if we were a private club, it would be this much, that much. It doesn't matter though, because the people that are losing it aren't losing it thinking, what's another $100? It's a big jump from $10. I think it should be to 50.
50?
Yeah. What is acceptable?
50 is, I'm sorry, I just do think it's better. I mean, it's 10 times what they're paying for the first key. That's,
So you're comfortable with 50?
Yeah, I'm too.
For a lost key, 50?
Yes.
again,
please.
deposit, what you said. if
Deposit,
they-
yeah, we don't, right. It's kept in reserve, so to speak. Yes, right, it's not
So do you want to
spent.
make a motion, Nancy, amend it to,
Nobody determined it. We're trying to determine it now so that when the auditors come for it.
Can we make a motion then?
yeah, go ahead.
Can we-
Amend your motion.
May I amend my motion to do the lost key fee to $50?
I'll second.
Okay.
Deposit, that's right, correct, deposit. Let's get our terms right, deposit.
All right. And do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, Shannon Sharma seconds. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I have discussions.
Okay,
We have a double standard on replacement costs. If you lose your beach key, it's $50 now, or $100, or whatever we approve on. To replace the lock, or say, the entrance to the police department, or the entrance to the building, it's $400 or $500. So, don't we need something? I know that the cost to get the locksmith in and replacing the lock is a lot of money, and it should be, that should be held responsible somehow.
That's 5 doors, Stan.
I understand it's five doors, but, I think $100 is, it makes you think twice about losing something.
I know for a fact that like a 10-year-old lost the key, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't thinking about $100 or $500 or anything. I think he was thinking he's wearing shorts running down to the beach. However, people who are coming into the police station or in the hall is not going to be a 10-year-old. It's just I do think it's two different people.
Well, if somebody lost their beach key, we wouldn't be replacing the lock on the gate.
We're replacing a key. That's
Yeah.
true.
Just the key.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not replacing a lock.
Here, we're replacing the lock.
Maybe the mayor.
It's not public
You're
portion,
gonna say
sorry.
it's not.
Council has an amended motion before the floor to approve it at a $50 deposit.
Did you hear that, Mr. Dragus? Council. I could hear him just fine. Would you mind if I repeat?
I'm sorry if I didn't sound clear enough. There is a amended motion before council to approve this legislation with an amendment. Instead of a $100 deposit required, that it would be a $50 deposit required. So that is the change that's being requested for council to approve. This only deals with a lost key and what kind of a deposit would be required to get a replacement key.
So any other discussion from council? Okay, roll call, please.
This is a vote on the
Amended.
On the
amended
amended,
$50.
yes.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redick Jr.
Nay.
Okay, thank you. Next is resolution number 2021-17, third reading. Public hearing was held on May 18th. This is a resolution approving the proposed alternative tax budget in the form attached hereto for the Village of Timberlake, Ohio for the fiscal year 2022 and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Stanley
I
Rodick makes a
second it.
motion. Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redick Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is Resolution 2021-19, second reading. It was tabled on April 30th, 21. A resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to amend the certificate of estimated resources for the year 2021 and declaring an emergency. In order to go further with this, I need a motion to untable this, or we just leave it tabled, so.
I don't want to make a motion to table until I have to untable it to ask a question.
Well, here's the thing. 19 and 20 are together.
Correct.
These were discussed at the Finance Committee, and one has to do with, help me, Joanne.
This is the one that I have to do that deposit that we have, that bond, return that, we have to return that to the resident, that special fund. And then we also have to do the amendment for the computers.
Well, that's,
No, no,
I
no,
don't want to
no,
get
no,
into
no,
that. I
that's-
just want to talk about 19 and 20.
Well, that's what
19
that's all included in that part of it.
Okay.
I just
I
made it all
think
one
my
amendment.
comment- If I may, my comment to you is, we do what we have to for those two items and leave the overall change until August. is what the finance committee basically said. That's in the minutes.
The minutes that we approved.
Right.
I have them here.
But you don't have enough money for the computer replacement in the police budget line. Remember when I sent it to you?
I understand that, but this is a wholesale change. If we do a change for two specific items, the bond per se and the police computers. Those are both ins and outs. It really doesn't affect much of anything else. And the big change, if there is one, would be
Yes,
after
okay.
the July number in the August meeting, right? August is the next meeting? That's what
August.
that was the
Okay.
intent of the finance committee meeting. I took the notes, so it may not read in English, but that's what the intent was.
They read pretty good.
Does
Right.
that make sense, Mayor and
Yes, that's what I heard.
so these two items should stay tabled, and then we do a separate one combining those two. Oh, boy, she didn't like that comment. Oh, I could tell. Because we have to redo everything.
We'll do another set of ordinances again, amending items again in August.
If we have to, correct. So
Correct.
and 19 and 20 will stay whole until August.
No, they need to come back on the table so I can pay the resident. Even though it's in and out, it's a ORC requirement.
That's a Howard Vice code. Where?
What ORC code you mean?
Which?
What number ORC code? Oh,
Should be referenced in there, isn't it?
No. Let me
Then
pull up the village official handbook.
the ordinance that has been read needs to be modified to say this amendment is only for the computers and the bond. Because right now, it was read for a wholesale per se change that included reductions on line items on the budget, which was police and trees and sewer,
No,
correct?
no.
Yeah, that's
I
what it was.
changed the exhibit.
No, I'm talking about the old.
Joanne, 20 has the exhibit attached to it.
Right.
No,
And so
that's
does
the old
19.
one.
There's a new one?
Yes, I had to fix it back to what they needed, what was agreed on for the meeting. Let me
You
pull up-
changed the exhibit.
Right.
I can't look it up. 'cause
I don't remember receiving it,
Let me find it.
unless that was what you just sent out.
On there.
Revised 19 and 20.
Oh, shoot, it won't let me open my dialogue box.
I didn't receive anything. I didn't receive anything today.
Right, it's a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to amend the certificate of estimated resources for year 2021. And then I have Exhibit A, which has on it the 13,000.
I don't have that, unless you send it, I don't have that.
$13,503.17.
What day did you send that email out, Joanne? With Exhibit A on it?
I will have to find that. I'm not in that part of the email. I'm getting low band. I'm losing something. Hello, did I lose you guys?
No, we still see you.
I can't get the emails up.
Let me look.
I think it was around the last council meeting.
I would think it would have been after the finance committee meeting. That's when we decided not to take action, wasn't it?
I did it with the $13,503 and we agreed to put everything back to the where it was before till August.
That was at the finance committee meeting.
Right. So it has
That
the
was
13,005 in it. And then we have to increase our estimated other resources from the other one to include the money for the computers. And then we have
I
to
don't-
amend our appropriation for that same line item.
I don't know about the rest of council, but I don't remember receiving the breakdown that,
No, I don't have those
Of A, so
breakdowns as finance committee, no.
but we need to
have
get this
do
bond paid,
13
so.
in the computer. And that you said we have some.
I just remember what we did at the finance committee meeting. Both Shannon and Dr. Ricci, you both got the finance committee minutes, right? You read those? Yeah, that was a summation of the meeting, so.
Is there another way to get this bond paid to this resident so that besides going through this, can we have council approve receiving that money and then also approving
No,
paying that money out?
no.
Is there a way to get the amended Exhibit A?
Let me find.
And the only exhibits we have are dated 4/25 and 4/23. And that was through 19 and 20. We don't have a revision.
I'll get one of those.
There's no way to get this person paid.
Well,
Like you said, it's money in and money out.
I understand that. We can do it, but council, the village can't.
Correct.
You know, as
Yeah.
individuals, we can do things. But if we can approve something and then she could write it up, can that be done?
That's
Well,
what
you have the legislation. The difference is the Exhibit A. If you're telling us that Exhibit A on 2021-19 is only 2 items, right?
It's right. It has everything listed on it, but it's only the 2 items.
Those are the only changes.
Right.
Okay. And the changes, the 13,503.17,
And what the computer donation is going to be.
the 4,000, whatever it is for the computer.
Right.
Okay. And the same is true on Resolution 2021-20. The only
Correct.
change will be those 2 items.
Right.
So knowing that, now the question is, do you want to untable those 2 so that we can get those taken care of?
Do I have a motion then to one table?
I make a motion to untable that, Mayor.
Okay, Dr. Sharma makes a motion. Do I have a second? On table?
Second,
Stan Roediger seconds. Roll call, please.
Cindy Hardwick,
One more discussion. Oh, you have to
Wait,
untable it.
on table.
We have to untable it.
Go ahead, roll call, please.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rediker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now, resolution 2021-19, a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to amend the certified certificate of estimated resource for the year 2021 and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
Do we have to put the words Exhibit A? I mean, that's what it refers to.
Well, let's suspend the rules first, and then we'll
Move to
make the
suspend the
motion. We'll
rules.
clarify it.
I second to move to suspend the rules.
So Stanley Rodiger makes a motion to suspend the rules, and Nancy Mara seconds. Roll call, please.
Nancy Mara, Stanley
Aye.
Rediker Jr., Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
or, I'm sorry, Cynthia Hardwick.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now, do I have a make a motion to approve or resolution 2021-19?
We have discussion or after the
After the
approval?
second.
So moved.
So Stanley Rodiger makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, the motion is with the new Exhibit A?
Pertaining to 2 items only,
Correct.
Right.
computers and the
And the-
refund.
Right.
The bond, okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Questions? Okay. Roll call, please.
Is Stanley Rediker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is resolution 2021-20. This is a resolution amending the permanent appropriation funds for the Village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2021 and declaring an emergency. This was tabled on 4/30/21. Do I have a motion to untable it, please?
I make a motion to untable it.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion to untable. Do I have a second?
Second.
Stanley Rodiger seconds. Roll call, please.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rediker Jr.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, resolution 2021-20, a resolution amending the permanent appropriation funds for the Village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2021 and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
We have to untable it first.
We just did.
Okay.
Do I have a
Motion done.
Okay, Stanley Rodiger makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rediker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-20. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
Well, we have to approve it with the same stipulations as the other one. Identical
So
stipulations.
go ahead and make your,
Right, approve the
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A for the 2 items only, which are the bond of 13,300 or whatever it is, and the police computer.
okay, I have a motion as amended. Do I have a second, please?
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion?
They both stay as Exhibit A.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you.
they'll be amended.
Okay, roll call, please.
Is Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rediker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is resolution 2021-21. Resolution authorizing the mayor to promote certain police officers and to hire special police officers for the police department and declare an emergency. Whereas the Timberlake Police Department, in order to provide proper oversight and staffing for the Timberlake Police Department, desires to make the following promotions and new hires. 1, promote police officer Masai Brown to the rank of corporal at the corporal rate. And 2, approve police officer John Turner to paid police officer status. So do I have a motion? Do we need a motion to suspend the rules on this? Okay, do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I make a motion.
I second it.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion to suspend the rules. Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Is Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Thank you. Now, resolution 2021-21. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
I make a motion.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion.
I second it.
Dr. Sharma seconds. Discussion. Roll call, please.
is Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara.
Aye.
What's that?
Thank you. Next is Resolution 2021-22, a resolution authorizing and directing the fiscal officer to accept a donation of $4,568.34 from Cindy Hardwick for the cybersecurity, hardware, and labor to install upgrades for the police department by Lake County Information Technology Department and declaring an emergency.
I make a
Do I have a
motion.
motion to suspend the rules, please?
I make a motion.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion to suspend the rules. Do I have a second?
Second.
Stanley Roediger seconds. Roll call, please.
Is Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have a motion now to approve resolution number 2021-22?
I make a motion.
Shannon Sharma makes a motion.
I second it.
Nancy Mara seconds. Discussion.
Just for council's edification, in every community that I work in, whenever we receive any money in as a donation, whether it's $5 or $5,000, it's my practice to get it on the council agenda in a resolution so that it historically is kept in the records so that there's no question down the road what's going on. So
Thank you.
And thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
for doing that.
Roll call, please.
Is Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, resolution 2021-23, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to retain the Lake County Information Technology Department to install upgrades to the cybersecurity, hardware, and labor for the computer system supporting the police department in the amount of $4,568.34 and declaring an emergency.
I make a
Do I have
motion.
a motion to suspend the rules?
I make a motion.
Dr. Sharma makes a motion to suspend the rules. Do I have a second?
I second the motion to suspend the
Mara
rules.
seconds. Roll call, please.
Is Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Arr.
Dr. Ritu
We're getting,
Sharma,
Aye.
Thank you.
and Shannon
Do I have
Sharma.
a motion to,
Aye. Sorry.
thank you. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2021-23, please?
I make a motion.
Nancy Meyer makes a motion.
I'll second.
Shannon Sharma seconds. Discussion? And roll call, please.
is Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rodica Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is Resolution 2021-24, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to hire G&L Locksmith to rekey the police department doors at a cost not to exceed $450 and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I make a motion.
Nancy Mara makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Cindy Harwood seconds. Roll call, please.
Is Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Rodica Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Nay.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2021-24, please?
Hey, Jim,
Right.
Yeah.
does that one actually pass? Because you're supposed to have 6 members of council and you have a nay?
You haven't suspended the rules. You only have 4.
Don't you have to have 5 to suspend rules?
Yeah.
So it can't pass until we have another council
We
person.
can't consider it without the rules being suspended, so it remains on first reading.
That means we can't change the lock.
Marvelous.
All of council has to be here.
So it stays that way till August.
It'll stay that way till August, and then whatever meeting it goes to a third reading.
That becomes a security issue.
Well, no, it's besides that, it's my computer, the Leeds terminal is locked up in my office because of the lost key. And without access to the Leeds terminal, the officers that do reports can't get their CAD information from dispatch. I mean, I've already got like 22 reports backed up because the Leeds terminal stays locked in my office and I can't be here.
Well, the other thing is we've already approved the expenditure in some respects in 19 and 20. We amended the appropriations in the budget to account for this.
Why isn't the officer who lost the key responsible?
We've never had a policy on it because it's never happened. There's never been a policy in writing
Are
about.
they
losing
still
the
with
key.
us?
No, they resigned.
But we do have money in the budget.
But guys, you haven't suspended the rules.
Okay.
So we haven't, if you suspend the rules and bring it before council and have a motion and a second, you can have discussion and have this discussion. But you can't do that so long as the rules haven't been suspended.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
No.
Can we do that again?
Can't we?
Do you want to change your vote? You said nay
I
to
did say
suspending the
nay.
rules.
I'm not sure if I understand where we're coming from. There might have been, there should have been maybe more discussion.
Well, you can have that discussion once you get it up before council for discussion. But you can't get it before council without suspending the rules.
Okay, I changed my vote to yay,
To suspend the rules.
to suspend the rules.
Now you can entertain a motion to
Discuss.
Okay,
approve.
do I have a motion to approve Resolution number 2021-24, please? Stanley Rodiger makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Nancy Mara seconds. Discussion now, please.
Okay, so why can't we have the person who lost the key be responsible?
We don't have a written policy in the police department. And without a policy, I can't enforce them paying the money back to rekey the doors.
It's never happened before.
It's never happened before.
So what if we were to let this go through, and then is there a way that we go after that police officer who lost the key?
That police officer was an unpaid special without a paycheck. So you can't attach to the paycheck. And without any written policy on it, there's no protocol to go after that police officer. But now in the future, since we have to go through all of this, and we re-core the doors, all of us will have to sign a new form and create a new policy that we all acknowledge that if we lose the key, it's going to cost us $450. The person that would lose a key, not all of us.
Right.
Since we have money in the existing budget for repairs and maintenance in the police department, wouldn't that money come out of that line item instead of going through this entire process?
Yes.
But you still need a resolution for the $450 to come out versus an everyday purchase order.
This isn't a planned expense. This isn't part of your original budget planned expenses. And you're engaging the services of a third party to perform the service. So we have to give the authority to the mayor to be able to engage the third party and to pay them. That's why we're doing it.
I'm watching you like this.
Moving, I was wondering why you were moving when I was moving.
Thank you.
The mayor
I
engaging a
understand
third
that.
party of replacing it, or the mayor engages with the third party?
To perform the work.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Is everybody, wait,
We all
Without discussion?
understand, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Vote on it.
All right, roll call, please. Joanne?
Stanley Redeker Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu,
Aye.
Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara.
aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, that does it for legislation. Moving on to the mayor's report. As everyone knows, we had pretty bad wind and storm damage on May 28th, right before the holiday weekend. We had to have the tree company come out and remove the large trees that, two big trees had fallen in the, or three actually, on the roadway. So we did the cleanup on all that, and our service crews worked diligently in the rain and also for several days after, picking up branches, debris, and so forth all over the village. I was able to secure from Republic. They gave us a container which we brought to the yard, and with all the debris and branches we picked up, we actually filled up a 30-yard container over full. So thank God they did it for no charge to us, because I told them, I says, well, either the residents are going to be putting on a tree lawn, you guys have to pick it up, or we can just go around and get it and put it in the dumpster for you. So they were much obliged to accommodate us, which was very nice of them. Anyway, next thing is also June 7th, we had catch basin cleaning. We went around all the catch basins. We were able to do all the ones that were plugged. We got the county coming out for free, so we just had to have two guys with them, and we were able to clean all the bad ones. We checked them all out. We just had to do, I believe, do you remember how many, Alex, we did? 30 catch basins we cleaned out, so we did pretty good on that. There was one catch basin up there on Wobbin by the basketball courts that was stubborn. We cleaned it out, but it was still plugged. But our crew went there yesterday and snaked out that line and got that open. So we're going to check that out and maybe put a camera through there to see if there's any other blockages or see what we need to do on that one. But hopefully we won't have any major repairs on that. And other than that, turn it over to the solicitor report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have two quick things. One is a reminder that as of July 1st, council meetings are required that council members be present in order to be counted to be present at the meeting and to be present to vote. You can no longer, after July 1st, vote over Zoom or attend over Zoom. You can attend, but you won't be counted as being present. The other thing is I would ask for executive session to go over an employment issue when we're done.
Okay, thank you. Okay, council members, Cynthia Hardwick. Report on grants.
I found something from NOPEC that we would have to do before June 30th, which is fastly approaching. NOPEC would give us $1,683. And at the same time, it says that it could be used for different things. And one of the things would be generators. I understand that the police department and the hall is not backed up by any type of generator. So I don't know if we can use that NOPEC money toward a generator to secure electricity if it should go out in the village for the
Is there a
police.
deadline for this grant?
June 30th.
Did we, is this one that you said, Joanna, we did apply for? Was there, we did a resolution on it or no?
Yeah, you did the resolutions and everything back in February. You just need to decide on how to spend it.
So this has already been approved?
This is
Yes.
separate than the Village Club one that we,
The Village Club got the $500 sponsorship, and then you did the other part. We did the 3 readings back at the beginning of the year. Just council needs to decide on how they want to spend it.
But I think the question is, does that mean what Councilwoman is speaking of here, we've already done that?
The first part of it, right, they just haven't decided how they want to spend it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we didn't.
so now that resolution is what we need to turn in by June 30th? Is that all? Or we need to spend it by June 30th?
We need to tell them what we're spending it on.
So we need to decide that today, correct?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Thank you.
In July.
Okay, so
I agree. I think that's a great idea of generator.
How much is the grant?
1683.
That's not gonna buy a generator. That'll buy the switch gear, but not the generator.
Joanne, is that correct? Is the amount that we received 1683?
Yes. Mhm.
And we've already appropriated how much of it?
None of it.
So where do we put it? Yeah, what
A
a-
door lock for the police department.
It says door replacement. Here's what-
You need doors replaced?
We use that for the door lock for the police department?
No, it's got to be a whole door replacement, anything with energy. Lights, LED lights, like they did I know in 18, I think they did the council lights in there.
At one time, the light at the top of the stairs was out. Is that still out?
So
For $1,680, I bet we can get it lit.
It's a great idea.
Could that include a motion detector light?
that would be efficient.
as long as it's LED, I'm sure, yes.
Out there, you want a motion detector light?
Yeah, so the animals can see where they're going.
I was just gonna say, it'll stay on all the time.
In case they want to read.
I think that's something we
You
can
can
put
always
in
adjust
for
it.
it. It's only $1,600.
Right, they say yes, they say yes, they say yes.
But if we don't use it, we lose it.
Right.
Right.
I
So
would
we
think
should say
could replace
LED
the
lighting upgrades throughout the village, for example, some of the street lights if need be, and also some of the outside lights on the village hall.
It says here as well, and we'd have to discuss this because I don't know how anybody else feels about it. Solar powered LED stop signs.
Say that again?
LED flashing stop sign.
The stop signs would blink at you.
I think people might tar and
Object.
feather us with that.
If you live close to that, would you like to see that in your living room all the
Just,
time?
it just.
Right, that's a number of things
Right
that
where
they
you're
suggest.
That's right out in front of your house.
Not that one. We should do one of the other ones.
Yeah, yeah. Beach light, I'm for.
What are the other suggestions that we have on that list?
LED lights, traffic signal upgrades, insulation, energy efficient windows, solar powered LED stop signs, energy efficient air conditioner, electrical upgrades, generators, door replacement, LED lighting upgrades, service garage insulation, energy efficient metal roof system, installation of radius ceiling fans, and energy efficient kitchen appliances. And I believe this money is given to us, Joanne, according to the number of residents. Is that how they figure out how much we get?
Yes, Under, yes.
So unless we get a whole lot of people to move in real quick, that's probably going to be,
Well, we have another income coming in, what, $67,000, Joanne? Is that what the state said they're gonna send us in change?
for the second COVID
Yeah,
money.
second COVID money.
CARES Act.
No, they haven't given us any figure yet.
Now, let's not confuse these two issues, though.
Sunday's
So,
paper.
so Joanne, can we just designate replacement light, LED lighting?
And also insulation at the village hall. We do have areas in the back storage room, the insulation is falling out of the rafters there and up in the roof area above the kitchen area. The insulation there is very bad also, so.
We can submit that. And actually it was, we started the readings in February. It was ordinance number 21-04.
Okay.
Okay. So you have what you need, Joanne?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, and you'll be able to log in and submit that, and then I guess you fill it out, and then I have to log in and approve it? Is that how we did it last year?
They changed it this year, I remember, because that's how we had that issue with the sponsorship this time.
Okay.
They changed.
You
the
know,
law.
either way.
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, is there anything else, Cindy?
That's it right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chris is not here. Nancy, tree report, please.
Well, I have 2 trees being looked at on Woburn. Since the last storm, people are very nervous about trees now that look bad to them. So there's 2 on Woburn I'm looking at. There's also one on Keewaydin between 87 and 89 Keewaydin. Thank you, Mayor, for helping me that day when the storm hit, because I was on the phone with one neighbor, and as I was going one way, they told me to go the other way, and the other way, another tree went down, another tree went down, and it was quite a day that day. It was quick and fast and furious. So thank you, Service, for helping us so much. And thank you, Chief, for getting out there and stopping traffic when, things were literally falling. Just tell everybody, be careful walking the couple days after a storm, because that wind was still shaking things out of the trees. So I just, little warning to neighbors, please just be careful walking after a couple of days. We do have those high trees. We have those canopy trees that things still shake out of. So, but thank you for everybody who helped clean up too. We kept if you need certain times for the service yard to be open, to bring your debris down there, give me a call and we'll keep it open to you. But tell me when you're leaving too, because I open it up, or the mayor opens it, and then bring your debris in and come back out. So thanks for all the cleanup. Thanks for all the help, Service. And let's hope the storms are minimal for the rest of the year.
Thank you. Okay, Stanley?
Okay, I have two items. One, we did hold a finance committee meeting. And those minutes are been approved. And we'll be looking at other items. I received a projections that I will be reviewing with the mayor and the finance committee. A worksheet in the budget based upon the 5-year general fund projections if the levies in November pass and if they don't, if they fail. So it's something that I'm going to sit down and call. I sent that to you today or yesterday.
Oh, yes, yesterday.
So we need to look at that and educate ourselves, as well as our residents on what these 2 older levies provide for us. That's that.
And those levies coming up will be the renewals.
Yeah, they're renewals, the existing, the two existing.
Yes.
And we'll, I hope to have something out to everyone well in advance so they can see what they are for and when they were put into existence and items such as that, that I hope to get input from other people. The other item under my umbrella is ordinance violations. I'm going to have to get together with Gary to review a letter we received from a resident on certain properties in the village, and I did tour the village and look in those. All the violations are there, and we just need to get the code enforcement and letters out. So with deadlines to remove the violations. Joanna, do we talk about the findings from 2018 or is that internal?
The findings for 2018 that have been, those are actually public on the state auditor's website. All those findings were.
No, not the findings. I'm talking about the IRS. I shouldn't have said findings.
Oh. Well, you can tell them where we stand on that. We have a possible penalty coming. Yes, we could.
Okay, we received a letter after the last council meeting from our friends at the IRS stating that they're your friends? Not my friends. And stating that we underpaid withholdings in 2018. Joanna spent some time, I spent some time looking for detail. Joanne found an error going back to the fourth quarter of 2018. That's actually reported January of 19.
No, it wasn't reported at all.
It wasn't reported. It should
It
have been
wasn't reported. It
So-
wasn't reported.
Joanne's going to write a nice letter trying to get explain the situation, giving them the documents, what happened, and asking them to remove their proposed penalty.
Because we
And-
were unaware at the entire time.
Yeah, this was a shock to everybody.
Right.
It was before Joanne's time, before a lot of people's time. It was an error. So if we write the letter today, we might get an answer in 2021.
Well, actually, Stan, I wrote it as soon as I told you I figured out when it was.
But
So
we
when I
don't have
told-
an answer till when, who knows?
Yeah, we don't know when we'll get the answer, but the letter's been already sent.
Okay. And I think the only other item we have is that we have a critter problem in the village. Coyotes attacking and killing deer in my front yard. And I think we need to discuss that and also the amount of deer that we do have in the village. So that's something that the council is going to have to address.
Do a work session on it, or? I mean, it's a lot to address.
Yeah, we need to have some kind of work session
Something.
or instruct, work session. Clean up. But there is a problem, and the coyotes are bold right now. Broad daylight.
Oh.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Sharma?
I did not receive any complaints. I have had a few residents and only kudos, so
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Shannon Sharma?
Yeah, for board, I know you talked about the catch basin.
Yes, that was it. Do you know when they're gonna be coming doing the street sweeping? Do you?
It's usually August.
August, okay. Yeah, because I know they did one early in the spring, so. Okay, thank you. Okay, fiscal officer report. Joanne,
All right.
please.
You received your monthly financial reports, and I'll just read across the fund summary report for May. For the overall funds, we started May with $411,973.45. Our month-to-date revenue we collected was $18,393.30. Our year-to-date revenue is $333,570.89. Our month-to-date expenditures was for last month was $48,613.26. And our year-to-date expenditures is $267,391.19. So we started June with $381,753.49. Keep in mind, that's our overall budget, where there's a lot of them that are restricted. So the general fund is the only one that you can move money in and out of. The other ones have restrictions. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Police chief report. Okay, thank you. And zoning and property maintenance report. I've got Gary Gray's list here. He wrote 31 permits were written year to date. 8 of them were between May 15th and June 15th, 2021. There's 2 new sanitaries, 2 new patios, 1 new driveway, 1 new yard drain, 1 garage sale, and 1 pod for the yard. Okay, and go on to purchases and approvals. Do I have a motion to approve the May 2021 financial reports?
So moved.
Stanley Roediger makes a motion. Dr. Sharma seconds. Roll call, please.
Is Dr. Ritu Sharma? Shannon Sharma?
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick?
Aye.
Nancy Mara?
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.
Aye.
And the other 2 were taken care of, or wait, the B you still need.
D is what?
Already taken care of, isn't it?
No, he needs to read that one. I need your approval to still do that one. We just corrected
The
the,
bond that we talked about earlier.
Right, okay.
A motion to approve, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So a motion to approve the fiscal officer to refund the bond to a resident at 48 Shawandasi Drive in the amount of $13,503.17.
I make a motion to approve
Dr.
that.
Sharma makes a motion.
I second.
Nancy Mara seconds. Roll call, please.
is Shannon Sharma,
Aye.
Cynthia Hardwick,
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Roediger Jr.,
Aye.
and Dr. Ritu Sharma.
Aye.
Thank you.
The next one you don't need.
This one we don't need,
We
okay?
already did that.
And do I need this?
No, you don't have to do anything with this right now.
Okay. And that's it for purchases and approvals. And we open it now up to public comments and questions.
Address.
Public comment portion, yes.
Yeah, you want to be on
We need a
screen.
microphone for you.
Here, here.
Just so that all those on streaming can hear it. Turn it on, yeah. Thank you.
Several times this week, people have jumped the fence. The lock was working on Saturday and wasn't working by Sunday. A young man got stuck on the other side and he could not get back through. He said he didn't have a key. And he's a very young person. So what is the plan for the gate? I know just because I live next door that they're going through it right now because it isn't working. But when it is working, they're jumping it or forcing it. So does council have any solutions?
Money.
No.
That's our.
The wall.
The wall. Yeah, right.
All right, I'll address that. Today I did meet with a fence company to basically see what it would cost, get an estimate on replacing the gate itself. I think we need to go with a 5-foot gate so that it's locked on the outside, but again, it can be open from the inside so no one gets trapped inside there. The only problem we were having before is people would reach over and open it up. So we'd have to go a little bit higher, but just in that section. So the thing is that we'd have to find a good locking mechanism also. So that's the 2 problems that we have, because again, any little movement and shifting, basically can be opened up very easily. So that's what I'm working on. It's probably I'm guessing it's gonna cost around $1,000 to do it. So that's gonna be the
How
problem.
about a camera? Are we gonna consider putting a
Well, we
camera
could
or
do
something
that,
out
but
there?
here's the
Just so
thing.
the police can see, so they don't have to stand there, but if they could see somebody jumping over,
Yes, and
you
we
know,
will,
we could maybe stop that.
yes, please.
Back here, it will not be outside the building,
Mhm.
it'll be here in the window where it can be monitored.
Well, if they have a light going off and then a camera, that may work.
But either way, like I said, I fixed it 3 times this weekend. That's why I worked on Saturday, didn't work on Sunday till Sunday evening. I fixed it then, and then at the end, by Monday, it was broken again. So it's,
And they were
Oh.
jumping like crazy
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend.
yeah.
I think a 5 foot, about 6 foot, and then some diagonal to the corner so they can't just climb over around it. Or
Yeah.
Some kind of stop it.
That's what we're looking at, yes. I mean, they'll still be able to jump over the fence in any other place, but that's where, again, if they're doing that, they're trespassing, they're damaging property. So that's where then the police department would get involved if they saw someone jumping it, so.
Thank you.
They don't care.
Did you say poison ivy?
Thank
It's
you.
full of it right now.
Any other questions? Yes.
Want to take a mic? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Podium.
Hello, my name's Monroe Moore with 48 Shawandasi. I just wanted to take a second to thank everybody here, including the mayor, for all the help that you guys have given us for the grant money. I mean, unfortunately, my family and I took a contractor by his word, and he did not do what we had wanted. So we really appreciate the help.
Well, thank you.
Sorry to wait.
My name is Mike Dragus. I live at 8 Minnewawa. I want to be clarified on some ordinances. After the storm, the interior of the village did a beautiful job of cleaning. But on Lakeshore Boulevard, there are 2 eyesores, and I mean eyesores. There's a pile of wood still that was split up from the tree that came down. And then the neighbor has a pile of shredded wood in a pile, and it's just sitting there. And that house also has 3 residents. There's not a married couple in that house or a family. 3 separate guys are living in there, 3 separate cars, and a boat. Now, I want to check on the boat ordinance. We passed one several years ago, no boats on the property of this village. Has that been rescinded or dumped in that lake?
It has not been rescinded.
It is?
It has not been. It's still on the book. So that's what you're asking us?
I want to know if it's still in
Yes,
place.
yes.
Now I want the police department or somebody to get after those people that have boats. There's a 40-footer down Shawandasi. There's a little, that house I just said about the wood chips sitting there. There's a boat, maybe a 12-footer in the air. There's boats all over this place. Who does? Who does the warnings?
That's the, what's his name, Gary? That's the zoning, he does.
Do we have a person for that?
Yes, Gary Gray.
Will somebody inform Gary to do his job?
He was here, just, we're
Yeah,
going too long. He was here.
I have planned to talk to him about the list of violations that he and I both received from, on other properties. And I will talk to him about that and the overnight parking and all kinds of other stuff.
How about house trailers that are being used
That's
as a
all-
residence?
That's all on the list of things that.
That one down here on Shawandasi?
Yes, sir.
It's got wire, it's got electricity and a water hose going for water. There's somebody living in that thing.
On Shawandasi?
Yes.
Yes. On the north side. It's back again in the driveway, in the circle driveway. And if you don't have anybody to take care of this, swear me in, I'll get it done overnight. I don't
You
play
mean that?
games.
Would you ever want to help with this?
No, I want to be responsible for cleaning it up overnight, not 3 months from now. I can't work with politics.
Well said. All right, I got 2 letters from residents. I forwarded to everybody, like right before the council meeting. One of them was from the old council person, Vince Cronin, and at 69 Keewaydin, he sent an email, and once again, I forwarded to everybody. It says, "To mayor and council, it is my understanding that the village will be requesting to spend an additional $450 to rekey the police department, which was just recently done. It is also my understanding that the reason this is being requested is because an officer either lost his key or never turned his key back into the village upon his departure. If a resident is required to pay $100, well, it's 50 now, for a replacement key for the beach, why do you feel it is acceptable for the village to foot the bill to rekey all the locks? They should be paid for by the officer that lost the key, or the former officer that never turned in his key should be charged criminally for theft of village property. Either way, this should not be the responsibility of the resident and should be handled internally." And then I think we kind of talked about it. I do think we should still charge this person. I mean, but my 2 cents.
Right, we will develop a policy.
I agree, but there's no policy.
Moving forward. They're a police officer. And then I received another email an hour ago, which also I forwarded to everybody, from Sherry Cronin, also 69 Keewaydin Drive. And she says, "I respectfully request that the council come up with a procedure for stopping and taking photos of our properties. I know it is not illegal to do so, but an incident that occurred recently when a councilwoman stepped in front of our home to take pictures of our driveway caused me to panic. My grandson was outside at the time, and I did not know the car. I believe the councilwoman was misinformed and thought we were violating an ordinance due to a vehicle being parked in our gravel driveway that we did formally obtain a permit for. My concern is that no residents should become comfortable with strange vehicles being stopped and snapping photos. I am not in any way directing this just at the councilwoman, but rather to the council as a whole. There are small children outside playing, our dogs are in our backyards playing, and we should be looking out for strange vehicles that are suspicious. We should not become accustomed to just assuming it is a council member or a resident just taking photos to report us for an ordinance violation or a potential violation. I would like to point out the most recent crime that occurred in Willowick Saturday afternoon. An elderly couple, most likely followed home after being out for lunch, were carjacked in their own driveway while a tan car that drove the suspect there sat in front of their home. Willowick is our neighbor, and this can and will likely make its way to us. We cannot be okay with not being suspicious of those that may be scoping our homes out to figure out our vehicles and when they are home and not home, what time we usually get into our vehicles, and what time we arrive home. Can we please pull together as a community and look out for one another? If a resident makes a complaint, can we be made aware of who made the complaint so it can be corrected, instead of the sneaking around the village, taking pictures, and then hiding as anonymous? I don't think we can do that any longer. Anyway, the culture of this village has changed, and it is not for the better. It feels like it is council and the mayor versus the residents. All of you are also residents, and I'm sure you, like the rest of us, appreciate residing in a safe and friendly community. It does not feel safe when a concerned resident sends an email to council and the mayor to voice a concern and receives a nasty response from a member of the council. The mayor not once reached out to address my concern or to even try and diffuse the situation. When the emails were becoming heated, there was a demand made by a council member that I give a verbal and written apology to council for all that I just mentioned. I am not sorry. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Sherry Cronin, 6/15/21.
Is there a question in there?
No, but this is public section, so I think actually maybe there was a question, can we pull together as a community and look out for one another? If a resident makes a complaint, can we be made aware of who made the complaint so that it can be corrected instead of the sneaking around the village, taking pictures and then hiding? I'm just saying, there's a question mark. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
that was it. Yes.
So you're late.
Why don't you, yeah.
There is a complaint form online, okay? But I've been asked, and I see, you know, if someone has a complaint, there is a complaint form online. We've had that, okay? Our last council people did a great job at putting a complaint form online. And then there was a first letter that went out letting everybody know that their yards are going to be looked at. Do you remember that? Okay. Then there was a second letter that went out for all the major violators, when I say major, not so major, the high weeds, garbage cans, specific people. Okay. Then by the time a third letter was going to go out, we were looking at money. The problem was sending out certified letters for the people who still didn't comply. At the time, the council person that did it, she was excellent at it, and she was going to work with Gary Gray. She was going to put out letters, and she was going to do all the paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork, the ordinance, to say this is what you're violating, you know. And then Mr. Gray was going to go out and knock on the door. Okay, so they were going to work as a team. It's almost like we're starting over again. Okay, Mr. Dragus, I do take up your offer in helping this. We do need help in enforcing these ordinances, but I will say that we are, you know, people go past my house all the time too. I get suspicious too. You know, I understand, especially when when I have my grandkids over, you know, we all get a little suspicious and nervous. So, the heated emails back and forth, okay, that gets rough too, and I understand that. But when it comes to, everybody gets a little nervous, like what violation. But I did have a neighbor reach out to me and says, well, if I make a complaint about my neighbor, can't I be anonymous? And I said, well, you do have to get a complaint form and sign it that I really know it's real. But to tell people, maybe counsel, you disagree, but to tell people who made the complaint, I don't feel that's right. Do you? Like someone makes a complaint on a person, isn't it putting neighbor against neighbor? Now signing the complaint and saying it's a real thing and giving it to council member saying it's, you know, this is real. You put your name on it. But I had a resident say to me, I want to say something new about so and so and so and so because their yard looks like, you know. But are you going to tell them I made the complaint when people ask? Should we? That's my question. Should we tell the person who made the complaint? I had, you know, Mr. Earlier, I don't know how they handle this in other neighborhoods, but you know, if they want council to go and visit some people, is it right to say who the person made the complaint?
Under public records request,
Mhm.
they have the right to receive a copy of it if they request it.
Okay,
We
okay,
can redact certain pieces of information,
okay,
and that's something that's an internal policy that needs to be looked at as far as under the public records request. But they have every right to have a copy of the complaint. What we redact is up to us.
okay. So so they have the right to make a public records request, do it procedurally wise, right? Do it procedure, correct? But like when you're going to the door and say, I have a complaint on this, when they ask me directly who complained,
They have to make a written request.
Okay.
Records request.
Fair enough.
For that information.
Fair enough.
And then typically what happens is we review that to see if there's any sensitive information that needs to be redacted.
Okay, so it has to be done procedure,
Yes.
correct? Okay,
I don't know anything about anonymous complaint. You know, we have a stop sign right in front of our house, and every time a car stops, any point of the day, I'm always staring out like, why are they stopping? And then I'm like, oh yeah, there's a stop sign. That's why they're stopping. Or if they do not a sweeping stop, I'm like, who stops for 5 seconds? Sorry, police chief, but you know, it's just a weird thing. I understand. And yeah, or if they rush by real quick, then I'm like, what are they trying to hide? Like you're always a little suspicious, you know, even in the safest community on the planet. Like, I'm not saying Timberlake is it, but I'm saying even if it was. Having said that, I've also walked with a little notepad and a walking buddy and stared at every single house to see if there was anything wrong with it. Just, you know, as a part of council.
Right.
Now, if I see someone who comes out and they're like, what are you doing? I think I would probably tell them like, oh, just council work. I just need to make sure all the trees look hedged and all the grass is cut properly, and I'll probably make small talk and walk by. So I can understand why, it's like two sides of this complaint as a resident as well as a council person. And I don't know who was doing what, but that's just my comment.
Okay, anyone else?
Wait,
I'm back to my question now. The health seminar, was that rented out as a corporate?
yeah, if you ask Krista, who's head of the hall, no, it's not a corporate. It was a resident in the village who rented it out. And you could ask Krista, because Krista has all the form work, who the family was.
I was just curious because, a while back, it was a year or so ago, a resident did, and something went out on social media, and they were pulled from it. And I just wondered how this was allowed.
It was by invite. It was by invite only. They invited their only private friends.
Well, this was out on social media. My niece, and you could RSVP. My one friend, her cousin from Chardon, sent me the little thing he got that said, we're going to have a health seminar, and please RSVP. And it just went out on Facebook.
Oh, it did go on
And
Facebook?
yeah, and so that got shut down. But this wasn't, because it wasn't really. Well, yeah, but I just wondered what our guidelines are. We really have to watch with the hall for things like that.
I'll tell Krista, because I thought it was by invitation only.
And were they making money off of it? Because I know that's
No,
not
there was no
allowed.
money.
Okay.
There was no money.
Okay.
But it really wasn't because it went out there. I know it was a speech, but there could be a gray area
Yeah.
for future rentals that we should watch. Because people could say, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm not charging them. And more people could do that. And then we should go on the corporate fee, where we receive more funds when we have all these extra people and a lot of extra cars that we're parking around last night. Usually somebody in the village having a party, and we're used to these people being here. Because they're friends, they're families, they're relatives. If it starts going out like that, then there is safety concerns for everybody and their property, such as going through the garage sale.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have? Go ahead.
I'd like to thank Sydney, new council member, going above and beyond
Absolutely.
for your help on a broke community. My grandson needs new shoes. So, no, thank you. You went over and above, even after you were verbally assaulted, of which I read was not worth the time to respond.
Thank you.
It wasn't the format or the tone and attitude that we needed to get.
Thank you. I just know my father was a police officer. And if I could do this, I'm doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Executive session.
Okay, yes, do I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
I make a motion to go in executive session.
Do I have a second, ma'am?
So move. Okay. There's nothing
Roll
after
call.
the executive session, right?
Right.
I don't anticipate taking any action.
Roll call, please.
Who's being invited in?
Huh?
Just council.
This council, okay. And it is to discuss employment issues
Right.
is the reason for the executive session. And I'm gonna rush through this because I have noisy people next door. Cindy Hardwick,
Cindy.
Aye.
Nancy Mara,
Aye.
Stanley Redica Jr.,
Aye.
Dr. Ritu Sharma,
Aye.
and Shannon Sharma.
Aye.
Don't drop that check.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
James, William.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by and spending an evening with us.
They come
Thank
again.
you.
Yes. Wait, Liz, we have to still see Joanne.
No, she's leaving.
Oh, Joanne's leaving? Joanne's leaving,
She's
okay.
got a party to go to.
Big and shiny.
Okay, we're out of executive session. Entertain a motion to adjourn. That, okay, Mr. Rodiger and Dr., wait a minute. Dr. Sharma made the second. Rodiger, Nancy Mara, Cindy, Shannon, Doctor. We're adjourned.